Now the beauty of a manual is that you're in control of the launch. You choose how fast, hard, gentle, soft the launch is. So you're at the traffic lights, you're in first gear, you take off, you're doing pretty well, but then as you go to second gear, the car next to you just pulls ahead. He's in a bloody auto and he's chopped you at the lights because he doesn't have to change gear. Today, I'm going to teach you how to drive fast in a manual car. There are three main elements to driving well in a manual: the launch, the upshift, and the downshift. And in each of those categories, there's little things that we need to talk about and understand to really get the most out of our cars. I've got the perfect car to demonstrate this in, because I am in a G87 M2 manual. This thing's got 500 roughly horsepower, it's rear wheel drive, it's got 3 pedals. Now the thing about all these 3 topics is they're very deep. It's not as simple as pulling a paddle. You have got to row your own gears and make your own decisions and live with them, because you're driving a manual and you should be respected. The thing that you have to understand about launching your car is that no matter how you do it, you're gonna have a little bit of wear on your clutch and flywheel. And the harder you launch and the poorer you launch, the more wear you're gonna have on these components. So I'm gonna show you how to launch hard, but at all times we're gonna keep a focus on not destroying your clutch. Because at the end of the day, especially in a car like this, those parts ain't cheap. So we're completely stationary. This could be a red light, traffic light, Grand Prix situation. It could be any time you just need to go. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take off completely normally. Feather that clutch out, get to the bite, then come off of it. Once the clutch is completely disengaged, you can go as hard as you want. It's gonna be easy if I show you guys. Tiny amount of throttle, we're going, I'm off the clutch, I'm full throttle. What I really love about that strategy is that there's no danger to your drivetrain. You're not gonna ruin your car. Now the second way to do this is the way Formula 1 drivers and racing drivers and a lot of people will launch their cars. What you're gonna do is you're gonna hold an amount of revs that you're comfortable with. I'm gonna show you 3000 RPM. What you're looking for here is you're accepting the fact you're gonna wear your clutch a little bit more, but you're also gonna take off faster. You're gonna use the same method with the clutch. You're gonna get to the bite, then you're gonna come off fairly gently, fairly smoothly, but quickly, and you're gonna hold that maintenance throttle, 2000, 3000, however many thousand RPM you want. You're gonna hold that throttle until your clutch is finished, then you're gonna go. A little bit harder that time. Okay, now there is a third way to do this. What you're gonna do is you're gonna trade the wear on the clutch for the wear on your rear tires or your driven tires. And rather than being smooth and progressive with the clutch, like we were the last 2 times, we're just gonna dump the clutch. In order to not stall, you need a fair amount of revs. Let me show you. That was lovely. I used a low enough amount of revs to where we got a little bit of wheel spin and then we just took off. That felt really, really good. It's kind of what you're looking for. We're gonna do it one final time with even more revs just to show you that it's very easy to get it wrong. And if you get it wrong and you give too much revs, suddenly your wheels are spinning and you lose that forward momentum and it just turns into a smoke show. Doesn't really help. It looks very cool, but you don't actually go forward very quickly. So that's the thing. There's a balance there of how to do this. Now the beauty of a manual is that you're in control of the launch. You choose how fast, hard, gentle, soft the launch is. I think if you have a manual car, you should absolutely do what I've done this morning. Find a very quiet road that's unpopulated and just practice the different ways of getting your car off the line. It will transform your driving and give you so much confidence in the times when you actually need to take off quickly. And it's not just a case of traffic light Grand Prix and being a silly sausage like I just was. If you're trying to join a roundabout and there isn't a ton of space and you need to get that gap, so it's good to be able and have the confidence to get your car going quickly when you need to. It's an important skill for driving, but also it's kind of cool. Right, now upshifting. This is not as simple as dumping the clutch and putting the next gear in. You gotta have a little finesse. You wanna treat that clutch softly and gently, but firmly and passionately, like you would your favorite partner. Go too rough and you're gonna cause discomfort and damage. Go too gentle and you're not gonna get that performance that you really want. Do you know what? For those innuendos, you guys should just be smashing the subscribe and like buttons. Now, when you're accelerating from a low speed, you don't want to be rough with the clutch and gearbox. If I go from second to third, did you see the amount of shake in my body? What I did there was I completely dumped the clutch between second and third. You're not in a race car, right? You're not in a Le Mans, you're not in a GT3 RS race car. You're in a real car. There's a bit of mush. Even sporty cars like this one, by all means, is a sporty car. They do not like when you are ham-fisted. Now let's talk about the most difficult shift, the 1 to 2. I could go at length about this shift. It's the most important one, it's the most difficult one, and it's the one that needs the most finesse. You cannot ham-fist your 1-2 shift. You need to slip that clutch a little bit in between the two shifts. Let me demonstrate. We're gonna roll into the throttle and we're just gonna slip the clutch. Even if we're trying to drive quickly. Yes, you can absolutely smash the gear in. Maybe it's gonna feel a little more sporty, it's gonna feel a little more fun, but you're going to decimate your gearbox. You have to be gentle between first and second. There is no way around that. Especially in modern cars that have got rev hang. I mean, this is a sporty car, but you will experience a little bit of rev hang even in cars like this. When you're going up the box, leave an elegant moment of delay between the gears. Second, third, even when you're driving quickly. I mean, here, watch. We've got second, we've got a bit of pace on, we're coming out the corner. I still left that moment's delay because at the end of the day, you're driving a manual. The car's not going to protect itself for you. You have to be the one with the mechanical sympathy to protect the car. Upshifting is all about understanding your car's power band. I'm right around 2000 RPM right now. If I put my foot down, yes, this car's got a ton of torque, so we get a little bit of acceleration. But if we try that again in third at 3000 RPM, that's a different experience. So what does that mean for upshifting? Well, when you're accelerating, you pretty much get to choose how hard you want to drive based on how high up this gauge you get. Now, you would think this is to do with downshifting, but it really isn't. It's all determined by how long you hold your gear. The longer you hold that gear, the more power your engine is going to develop. If you keep holding that gear by not upshifting, you're going to get more out of your engine. The way most people drive is they get a little bit of acceleration out of third, they go up to fourth, they get a little bit more acceleration, they go up to fifth, and suddenly you're right at the bottom of that rev range again. Now if I put my foot down, yeah, I get a little bit, but I don't get that much. What I really want is not to drop down to third, but to be in third. To understand that if I enter this corner in second, I'm going to have a great amount of performance out of it, and then I want to switch up to third and I want to hold this gear. I don't want to let go of it here. I don't want to go back up to fourth because I'm going to lose my performance. I want to fight the urge to upshift because I know I'm going to get more responsiveness, more power in the lower gears. Now there will come a time when you need to slow down. And when you need to slow down, you still got to work that gearbox. So I'm going to give you guys a short and sweet understanding on how to rev match and how to learn to heel and toe. The first step to learning this is just understanding how to rev match. So all you do is you're in gear, you move to the next gear, you blip the throttle, and you let go of the clutch. Once you've got this down, the next step is heel and toe. You're on the brakes coming into a corner. What you cannot do is, while you're on the brake, depress the clutch, select the next gear, and release the clutch. Because you're going to feel that horrible feeling from the clutch meshing with the flywheel. It's going to give you extra braking. Your driven wheels might lock up. It's a long day. But since you're braking, you can't press the throttle. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the heel of your foot to press the throttle pedal while you're still on the brake. Once again, you're coming into the corner, you're braking, you depress the clutch, you select the next gear, you blip the throttle while still braking as you release the clutch. This is a mind fuck. And the first few times you will try to do this, it will not go smoothly. It's very difficult to do. An alternative is called big toe, little toe. So if you've got bigger feet or if you don't have bottom hinged pedals, this is an easier way to do it. But once again, we're below 3,000 RPM. We're coming into a corner. I'm going to have a rev match early to get me in a slightly better power band. Brake for this one. Up to second. Now I've got the performance. There it is. But you have to work for it. The car's not just going to give it to you. You got to go find it. That's why I love manual cars. This car will not spoon feed you. The power is not just at the tip of your fingers like it is with an automatic car. You have to hunt for it. You have to work for it if you want that sweet nectar of performance and power. That's why I love a manual box so much. That's why this car has character. Because it is blisteringly fast. But only if you work hard for it. It's imperative that as much as you go up the gearbox when accelerating, you go back down it when decelerating for the same reasons. You want to be in the power band. I don't have much power here, but if I go up to third or down to third, I've got a little bit more. I'm closer to 4,000 RPM. I've got a little bit more responsiveness. The engine's giving me a little bit more. If I want even more, I'm braking for this corner, I go down to second, suddenly my responsiveness is through the roof. So much fun, so much enjoyment, because I'm actually working the gearbox, I'm working with the car, I'm trying to extract what it can give me. You're constantly hunting for that little bit of extra sauce from the car. My name's Mick. I drive cars. Peace.